big-time star, especially after the year that he's had. He definitely deserves it. The Intercontinental title will be on the line, in which we will see Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose in a last man standing match. Now, I think the last time they've had a last man standing match was a while now. Oh, it's probably been since Extreme Rules, I think. But this matchup here I'm looking forward to seeing because I think Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens are just going to tear the house down. And I see Dean Ambrose coming out victorious, and I see him holding the title for a little bit longer. Some people think that the feud's going to prolong for a little while longer. I honestly don't see that because with 3 consecutive, pay-per-view victories on Kevin Owens, I think that it's going to work better for Dean to have those victories. And plus, Kevin Owens can then focus on other things, like either, rumor has it that he would either face The Undertaker or Brock Lesnar. I'd rather have him face Lesnar at WrestleMania. So, going from that to the Divas title, comparing the Divas matchup last year to the Divas matchup this year, I'm saying they're doing definitely a good job right now. They have Charlotte defending the Divas Championship against Becky Lynch. And me and Max, we have an agreement on this, so going to go with the one and only Becky Lynch for the title victory. I think it's high time for her to finally become Divas Champion and take this Divas division to the next level. I honestly would love to see Becky Lynch win the title, and then, well, I talked about this on the Squirt Circle podcast. I want to see Becky Lynch win the title at WrestleMania, and then possibly the night after, this is kind of an added deal, she comes out and talks about how the Divas division, is great, but this title does not represent what the true females, women are in WWE, and whether she throws it in the trash or just gives it to somebody to take it away. Next thing you know, you have Alundra Blaze come out, and maybe she gives her, the classic WWE Women's Championship or the regular Women's Championship. And this is kind of a symbolic passing of the torch, basically, because Alundra Blaze was basically a role model for females back in the 90s, despite, having to be Medusa in WCW. But that was, of course, something completely different. So yeah, just having that symbolic passing of the torching, and plus it'd be kind of interesting to see because if you remember during her Hall of Fame ceremony, she took the championship belt out of the trash can and said, it's back home where it belongs with the people. I think it would just be really cool to have something like that. And plus they went with the classic Intercontinental title, and that went over very well. It really did. So I want to see Becky Lynch, change the Divas Championship to the Women's Championship. I think that while Charlotte would be the better person to maybe do it, I think right now with her heelish character, it just works better for her to have the Divas title. And let's not forget that Papa Flair, will be in Charlotte's corner, so expect a little bit of interference. We move on to the one versus all matchup in which Roman Reigns defends his title in the Royal Rumble match. Like I said, not since 1992 have they decided a title in a matchup in which the odds are so against the champion. So, how Spencer and Max did is how I'm going to do it today. I'm actually going to do a deal in which we will have we're going to pick the final 4, and then we're going to pick 2 surprise participants in the Royal Rumble match. So the 2 surprise participants that I think are going to be in the Rumble match are going to be Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe. I think that both of them are just ready and ready to go to be on the main roster. I know a lot of people would like to see Finn Balor come up on the Rumble. I honestly would much rather see Finn Balor and AJ Styles teaming up at Fastlane and then face off against each other at WrestleMania. And I know that there's people that have been saying, that should be saved for NXT. I don't think so. I think NXT is going to have some great matches, and they don't need that kind of star power. WWE sadly does. So that is my 2 surprise predictions in Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe. As far as what the final 4 are going to be, I wrote it down to Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, and Dean Ambrose. And who comes out victorious? I got to go with Roman Reigns. I think that it's kind of the obvious one. But you know what? I think I'm actually going to go with Brock Lesnar on this one. Just because I think it'd be very interesting to have, Lesnar and Reigns at WrestleMania again. But this time be a matchup in which we don't have a third person coming in. Because the matchup that they had at Mania was good It was a great start for him, but I think that this would be a great time to have Roman Reigns, finally stamp his legacy and become the man. But also, you have to realize this, and this is what I'm going to close with. Brock Lesnar signed, I think, a 2-year contract last year. So what really makes sense to me is that he needs to start helping create more stars. Now, I'm not saying he should lose every match. No. I'm saying that he shouldn't be losing to guys like... he really shouldn't be losing to guys like John Cena or Triple H. Bad Triple H. Bad John Cena. Bad. By the way, John Cena get well soon. But he really just needs to help give guys a little more momentum. And I think that, a win on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania would be great. I would think that, having Cesaro beat Lesnar would be more legitimized. And you can think about the shock value that would bring for a young guy to beat a guy who's just been on a roll like Brock Lesnar. And so many people would think, no, Brock Lesnar will lose his credibility. He has his credibility. He's already a badass, and he broke the streak at WrestleMania. He's got enough credibility to last him for a long time. And I think that, honestly, I would put him in the Hall of Fame, especially if they plan on having it in Minneapolis. That would be the perfect place to have him be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He's just one of those guys who definitely deserves it. With his first run, and you compare it to his second run here in WWE, he has accomplished so much more in this year, in these, past few years than he has in this first 2 years, roughly, in WWE. So that is my thoughts on Royal Rumble. Tune into that tonight on the WWE Network. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Pro Talk Wrestling. Have a great day, and happy Royal Rumble Day.